Hi everybody, welcome once again to World Cup Rugby 2011. Well, we finished the group stages and South Africa have done very well, even though they were in the group of death, winning all 4 games. Their first game against Wales, beating them by 1 point. What a nail-biter.
What a nail-biter, Steve, and a win is a win is a win. Second game, of course, the game that restored our faith in our national team by defeating Fiji so convincingly with 49-3. What a great game that was.
Yep, and then we played our neighbours and we thrashed them once again by about 80 points.
Yes, not very neighbourly of us. And then, of course, this morning we faced the mighty Samoans, and what a nail-biter.
Yep, as you would say, a win is a win is a win.
As I would say.
So tell me, Edwin, what's up with those cards? It was a yellow card and a red card?
Yeah, I think Brosseau deserves an Oscar for that performance. John Smith, I think that's very, very unfair, you know, that decision, but whatever, it's a win, we'll take it.
Yep, that's right. So we've come to the end of the group stages, going into the quarters, semis and finals. What's your predictions?
I think if memory serves right, if you go back to 95, we also played Australia, New Zealand, and we played France that year, and we won the World Cup. So this year I don't necessarily think France is going to be in the mix, but I do believe that we can take Australia, we can take New Zealand, and maybe Ireland in the final. We have to see.
Well, do you really believe we can beat New Zealand at home in a World Cup?
Steve, when I say go Bokke, I mean it.
Alright, you heard it from Edwin. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at the game plan, and last time I shared with you about blessing those around us, we're going to be talking about fellowship. So we're looking at the game plan for winning for Jesus, found in Luke chapter 10. And the first point in that game plan, as I shared with you, was speaking peace and blessings over people. The second point in this game plan is that of fellowship. Now, if you look at the Rugby World Cup, it's those teams that play for each other that seem to play well. And relate that to the game plan in winning for Jesus is that we need to live for each other. So often when we become Christians, it's all about our relationship with God. But if you look at the game plan that Jesus gives, is that we need to live for one another. And when you look at the Bible, there is a phrase in the original Greek called koinonia. And koinonia means fellowship. And fellowship is the second point in our game plan in winning for Jesus. And the fellowship is living for God and living for one another. So often we hear the word fellowship and we think of church committees, or we think of tea and coffee in the fellowship hall, and it really downplays the importance and the power of this concept of koinonia. And what we need to do is we need to understand koinonia, fellowship, meaning living for each other. And it's very important, if we're going to reach the city for Jesus and to transform society, is that we need to be fellowshipping with non-Christians so that we are able to be the salt and the light in all communities. And so the game plan, as we continue to follow the steps that Jesus gives his disciples, is that of fellowship. So I want to encourage you, do you know people in the office, do you know people at home or on the sports field that you're able just to connect with, that you can be Jesus to them? I really encourage you, if we are going to fulfill this game plan, we need a fellowship with non-believers. Let's not be caught up in the holy huddle. Let's not get caught up of living our lives for Jesus with having no non-Christian friends. It's imperative, if we're going to win for Jesus, that we become friends to the unsaved. For Jesus was a friend of sinners.
Thank you, Steve. I'm really starting to understand the game plan as we win others for Jesus.
So continue to follow us as we follow the World Cup. There are 2 teams that have made it to the quarterfinals so far, the All Blacks and the Springboks. And all we can say is, go Bokke!
Grossi